Hi, Jenny here. It's been a little while since I've made some soup, and I've been in the mood for tacos lately. So I thought I would combine that and make some taco soup today. So let's get started. For this recipe, we are going to need 1 pound of ground beef, 1 onion, 1 package of Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning, 1 package of taco seasoning, 1 can of black beans, 1 can of white beans, 1 can of whole kernel corn, 1 can of Mexican tomatoes, and 1 can of regular tomatoes. We are going to start by draining and rinsing our beans and corn. That will help get rid of any excess salt that they use in the canning process and any residue that might be on the cans and things like that. So I have my large colander in the sink because I'm going to do all 3 at once. We can put them in the same container. They will be added to the soup at the same time. So we can do that. And then while those are sitting there and just kind of drying for a little bit, I will go ahead and dice the onion. We are going to start by browning the beef and the onions together. That way the onions give the beef a little bit of extra flavor. So we'll do that over medium heat. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of the pan. That will help make the onions not stick and give just an extra little bit of flavor. So we'll get that started. So I did go ahead and cut up that whole onion. Diced it up. Nice small bite-sized pieces. I will get those started, getting them cooked just a little bit, almost till they're translucent. That way you know that the onions are cooked through. And then after we add our ground beef and we get that cooking, once the ground beef is all finished cooking, it's no longer pink inside, we will then drain the grease off of that. So I have a nice large coffee mug for that. When you're draining the grease, you want something that's not going to be plasticky, that's not going to melt in the heat of the grease. And I have my handy dandy little grease strainer that we will use to do that. I do that in the sink, so again, if anything spills over and it goes in there, it will be easy to wash down. But again, you don't want all the grease just going down your drain because that can clog up your pipes. So I will bring you over and watch you cook. I will bring you over so that you can watch me cook. Normally January is the perfect time for having soup because the weather is colder and it's nice to have some warm soup to help warm me up and feel cozy. And for us here in Wisconsin, we have had a mild winter. It started off kind of with a bang where it was cold. We had snow and all that, and it was like, oh boy, sure. The woolly caterpillar said it was going to be a mild winter, but it started off like that was not mild. But now we've had 40 degrees for like the last 2 weeks. Today again is supposed to be, well, it was 45 earlier today when I took my walk. We've had it in the 40s. It's like, we had snow on Saturday, and I thought, okay, yay. The ground was all covered again. It was all nice and white and pretty. And then the next day it was warm and it melted. And we've had rain. So at least the rain hasn't iced up. Because again, yeah, we'd started off, we had all the icicles. A video on the channel of how I was battling some icicles coming off the garage. You know, the water was leaking, and then it was formed all icicles back there, all ice behind the garage. So that was not fun to deal with. But now that it's warmer, it's good and bad. I mean, it's nice. I'll take it, especially, you know, take my walks every day and get out there and have nice weather. But it also is like, I don't know, winter in Wisconsin is supposed to be cold. We need our freezing temperatures so that it can kind of kill off all the ticks and have the other bugs, you know, hibernate. I've had a couple stink bugs in the house. I'm like, what? Where did you come from? Why are you in here? It's like, nope, go back outside. So I catch them and let them back outside. I'm like, you're lucky it's 40 out here. It's not completely freezing, but yeah, there's a purpose to having it a little colder. Like I said, it almost seems like the one tree by us, right in my yard, seems to almost be budding a little bit. And I've noticed the weeping willow trees have turned a little bit yellow, that it seems they're kind of thinking too, oh, it's getting warmer out. Is it spring? So, much as I like the warmth, I'm like, you know, I kind of like our month of cold. Okay, once the meat is no longer pink inside, we'll go ahead and turn off the heat. And we'll drain off the grease. So, I've got my utensils over here. I think I put the camera so you'll be able to see. I'll put my grease catcher on. It's always the trick of being able to hold the pot and the grease catcher at the same time. Pan. My frying pans, my handles are a little lower. It works well. Okay. There we go. You want to do that slowly so that the meat doesn't all come falling to the front of the pan or falling out. So take some patience. Take your time. We'll go until it's pretty much a small little, like drip, 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 till there's not a trickle anymore. And then I let that cup just sit off into the side until that grease all hardens up. And then I either put it in like a yogurt container, empty yogurt container in my fridge, in my freezer, so it hardens up, and then the next garbage day, or when the container's full really, I'll put that in the garbage. Or at that point you can just put it into your garbage can. Alright, now we will add our ranch seasoning and our taco seasoning. Buy any kind you want. I saw they had a Lowry's kind. I've never seen that kind before. It's usually like it's Taco Bell or McCormick. And I'm like, oh, we like the Lowry's red salt. So go ahead and try this seasoning this time. It'd be so nice if I could have a top-down camera and show you what's going on. I'm going to kind of get this all soaked into the meat as best as you can. And then we'll go ahead and add our other ingredients. We'll add all our beans. Put the heat back on to your medium, and then we're just going to let this heat through. If you want the flavors to really kind of soak in, we'll let it sit for up to about an hour. This looks very good. The soup right now isn't very liquidy, so it's up to you if you want it to be more soup-like. You could add like a beef broth to it, or what I'm going to do, I would eat it just like this too. This is more chili-like, and it still may end up that way. But what I like to do is take my cans with the tomatoes anyways, and I'll just run a little bit of water in there and rinse the cans that way and add that flavor into the water. That way it's just not regular water, it's flavored water. And I got any extra little pieces, any extra tomatoes that are kind of sticking in there. We'll get to add those. I was going to say too, for the Mexican tomatoes, I did look it up online. I did find this on the shelf with just the regular diced tomatoes. This one is diced tomatoes and green chilies. So that's kind of what makes it the Mexican, is that it has green chilies in there. Some of them might say Mexican on them. I did look in the ethnic aisle and I didn't find anything like that there. But like I said, they have these, so that's good. And then the other tomatoes, again, just any type of a diced tomatoes, any flavor that you would like. Usually I get something with like basil and oregano. They kind of have them seasoned already. This time we just ended up grabbing the regular non-flavor. There we go. More soup-like. And then the other thing you can do, this is good for now, we'll see. The other thing I like to do is also rinse these packages, because again, there's just a little bit of flavoring in them. So we can add just a little bit more. Tiny bit more. And then, like I said, you can just go until this is heated up a good, 15 minutes or so. Or, as they always say, right, soups and chilies and all that usually taste better the next day because the flavors all have a chance to all just kind of sit and meld together. And so you can also let this simmer for about an hour, and there too, that will help all the flavors get into each other. That'll be very tasty. But I'm hungry and I want to eat, and I'm, besides ending the video. So we'll let this go for about 15 minutes. and then we'll eat it. The taco soup is finished. That was very quick and easy. It was steaming, it was warm, so I'm like, it's good enough. I'm ready to eat it. So let's give it a try. All these yummy, delicious ingredients. Oh, it's steaming. Woo. Let's try not to burn my mouth. Then you can't taste anything. Hmm. Mm. Very tasty. Got a little spice. I'm not one who likes a lot of spicy food. Can handle a little bit. So I kind of figured the can of tomatoes that had the chilies in there, I'm like, that's like just enough spice. I've done some stuff like that before. I've used some green chilies in, I think, my enchilada soup recipe, and it's been okay. And I kind of thought, yeah, that's good. Actually, between that and taco seasoning, I didn't look on there if it had a mild, medium, any other qualifiers on there. I think it was just taco seasoning. So that could be part of it too. Because I know at first I was thinking too, I'm like, are there no spices in this? Do I not need my chili powder or whatever? I'm like, oh yeah, taco seasoning. The spices are all right there. They're all in a packet. You don't have to go find all your individual spices. You just pour that in. That's excellent. A lot of good things about this soup recipe. First of all, I got this from my cousin Kathy, so that was very nice. That a long time ago, she sent a bunch of recipes to me for me to be able to try to cook, to maybe cook for Mom. Even though this was way back before I was even really making soups for Mom. But it's all just basic ingredients, regular ingredients. So I thought, obviously, on top you can add, like, I have some tortilla chips on top of here. I found, these in the store next to the, like in the produce section next to where the nuts are, at least in my store. So with the almonds and the pecans and things like that. But they had tortilla strips, and it was like, ooh, I've used these before in some soups too, and really like them. And then forgot where I even found them so that I couldn't buy them again. I think I've used those in my enchilada soup. And Cassie, I know, likes those. So she'll put those on her salad, or the other day she was just eating them as a snack. So put those on the soup. You could put sour cream on here, and or like guacamole or cheese. But also, if you want to go dairy-free and or gluten-free, then you don't need any extra added toppings, and it's still very, very tasty. So that's awesome. The other thing being that, yes, recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef. So again, that's easy to make if you're just going to do the one batch. But it's also easy to double. So again, on the weekends, I usually like to make 2 batches of a soup or whatever meal I'm making in reality, so that I can, again, I give some to my mom, put some in her freezer. So all she has to do is heat up her food, and she doesn't have to go through standing in the kitchen and making things. So I will go ahead and do that. I did buy 3 pounds of ground beef. So I think I put a 1.5 pounds in here, and I'll have the 1.5 pounds in hers, just because, again, that's just easy. But also you can make 3 batches if you're up for it, or triple. If you have a pan that big, a pot, you could just do it all in one. I usually make it in separate, so also I kind of keep some less salt in hers if possible. But also, yeah, I could make a 3rd batch, and I could freeze a batch here myself. Or same, making a double batch. So 1 to eat right away, have it in the fridge for the family, and then you put 1 in the freezer. So again, when you're doing a project, like painting a room, which we were just doing, and then it comes time to, like, you're kind of finished and you're tired and you're just like, oh my God, but I'm hungry, I just want to eat, I want to grab something and eat, and then you're going for the junk food. And it's like, well, then if you have either soup in there and or like soup in the freezer even to be able to take out and heat that up right away, you have some good food to eat. So also thinking, like, the Super Bowl's coming up, this would be a good soup to have if you have company coming over or whatever, have this out for the game, or eat it yourself while watching the game. Watching those commercials. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, this recipe. I will put it down below, and let me know if you guys have tried taco soup before, if you even like just regular tacos. I'm going to go enjoy my lunch. You guys keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye. Yummy, yummy.